Hello gamers! Today I thought we'd talk about the 5 things I wish more people knew about starting an indie game studio. Number 1. Making games is hard, but running an indie studio is even harder. Making games is pretty tough, but running a studio is a completely separate job. It's a whole different beast. You're not just a developer anymore, you're now managing budgets, people's deadlines, marketing, legal, paperwork. If you love making games but hate business management, you might need to hire somebody in who handles the business side, because making games and running a studio, 2 completely different jobs. It is a full-time job to run and manage a studio. Number 2, your first game is not going to make you rich. Everybody wakes up thinking they're going to make the next Stardew Valley or Hollow Knight, but being real, most indie studios struggle to break even. Your first game is probably not going to be a massive hit, and that is totally fine. The key here is to plan for sustainability, have multiple revenue streams, have a part-time or full-time job, have a budget, be realistic. Don't pin all your hopes on your first game. You need to pay rent, you need to eat, you need to survive. This one's pretty near and dear to my heart, but I believe that everybody deserves to be paid fairly for their work. It's a pretty big one when starting a studio. You have 2 choices really about how you treat people. You can ask people to work for free, which in my opinion is unethical. You could offer them revenue share or exposure, but that's pretty risky and again, to me, pretty unethical. People need to eat, and if you're asking them to work for you, they need to be able to eat while working for you. They should be paid while working for you. You can bring on team members, hire freelancers, full-time employees, but you then have to think about PAYE versus freelancers, and if you can't afford to pay people yet, then maybe your studio isn't ready to hire and you need to think about solo deving or how you want to work around not having the people. Number 4, marketing should start way before your game is finished. If you're waiting until launch to start marketing, you're already too late. The reality is that your game needs visibility and eyes on it months, sometimes even up to a year before you release. Social media, dev vlogs, trailers, community building, Discord servers, all crucial. If no one knows your game exists, no one is going to be able to buy it. Start early, be consistent, get people excited about your game before it's even ready to launch. Number 5, and again, this one's pretty important, you need a plan. Passion is what drives you, but it's not enough to keep your studio alive. You need a roadmap, you need key milestones, you need to understand how you're going to fund your development, how are you going to pay for your team, how will you handle publishing, what happens if your game flops, what's next? How are you going to build your audience, grow your community? And if you can't answer these questions, you need to do some thinking. You need to plan before you start. Making a game, as I said, is hard. Running a studio, even harder. Thanks for listening. That is just the top 5 things off the top of my head that I think more people should know about before they set up their studio. I think that running a studio is one of the best privileges of my life. I love being an indie developer, but I do think that running a business and making games are totally different things, and I really look forward to you starting your own studio if that is something that you're interested in. I'm always happy to answer more questions. I'm going to be trying to share more tips and tricks on how to do that, so let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to see more of.